and welcome to the Author Roundup, a special segment of the Book Connection Show where we meet up and coming indie authors and talk to them about their recently released books. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Author Roundup. I'm your host, Jenny. Today's episode explores a story that begins with 12 exiled beings scattered across Earth, stripped of their memories and forced to live hidden lives while their destroyed world echoes in the distance. As a powerful alien threat advances, their only hope lies in rediscovering who they are and reuniting before history repeats itself. Alongside this unfolding cosmic threat is a young girl navigating survival, responsibility, and fear, whose journey becomes deeply connected to something far larger than she realizes. These two journeys eventually converge in a story that blends cosmic mythology, zodiac inspired symbolism, and a deeper exploration of identity, purpose, and resilience. Here to talk about this debut sci fi epic and the mythology behind it, please welcome the author of Divine Code of Quasars, The Fall of Planet Z, RC Panthera. Hello, RC. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Jenny.
Thank you for the chance to talk to you about your book. So, for readers who were just discovering your work, how would you introduce Divine Code of Quasars, The Fall of Planet Z?
It's about 12 young celestial beings called Zodians who flee their planet after it's overtaken by the Umors and evil entities who feed on corruption and division. The Zodians arrive on Earth disguised as ordinary animals, scattered and lost, their memory erased, and their powers dormant. Much like our spirit entered this life without a premortal memory. With the help of chosen human guardians, they must reunite, awaken their true identities, and reclaim their mystical gift to face a battle greater than themselves as Earth is caught in the crosshairs of the same nemesis that destroyed their world.
I see. So, it seems like it's a very colorful or imaginative world that you created there. So, tell us what first inspired that world and the concept behind the story.
The idea came from my fascination with the Milky Way, staring at the stars and the moon as a child, pondering what existed beyond what my eyes could see. Questions like where do I come from? Who am I? Where am I going? Kept circling my mind. That sense of wonder and the belief that we are part of a greater design inspired story where life's greatest struggles are often unseen spiritual battle between good and evil. I also find allegorical designs in numerology, such as the number 12 in constellations, clocks, calendars, zodiac, and scripture, which mirrors pattern in time, space, and matter. This same idea inspired my book and company logo. The number 1 and the letter Z representing Alpha and Omega sitting on top of the pi symbol, which represent infinity. The 1C can also be a visual play on the number 12. The 5 colors in the logo reflect the classical elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. These symbolic meanings are embedded into the very soul of the narrative in the book.
Your story really includes rich layers of symbolism, zodiac imagery, faith, cosmic design, and hidden meaning. Did those symbolic elements come early in the writing process, or did they just deepen over time?
The story came the end of 2023 and deepened in early 2024, right after I was laid off. I finished writing the first 8 chapters in just a few months. Throughout the whole process, deeper layers of symbolism and cosmic design began to align almost on their own, like the story was revealing the plots to me rather than the other way around.
Okay, so even your pen name, it also carries symbolic meaning, right? Like, can you tell us what RC stands for and how it reflects the themes at the heart of your work?
I watched a YouTube video of Jim Caviezel telling Mel Gibson he had just realized he shared the same initials as Jesus after accepting the role in The Passion of Christ. I thought about what my pen name RC stand for. The 3 R's: repentance, redemption, resurrection, and the 3 C's: conviction, covenant, and conquer came to mind. I thought that was cool.
I see. So it has very good symbolism, even your pen name and your story. Also, in your book, the idea of hidden identity is also a big part of your novel. It's central to this novel. Why do you think that theme resonates so deeply, especially for younger readers?
Being an introvert growing up, I always struggled to belong like many teenagers do. I understand and feel their pain through my own search for identity. I might have put out a brave face, but deep down I was fearful and anxious. I think most young readers can relate to feeling lost or alone as they connect with the characters in the book, such as seeing the temperament of Long Long the dragon in themselves, or being vindictive like Sheshe the snake. Once they came out of their shells like butterflies from a chrysalis and discovered their true identities, they can transform into something extraordinary and face challenges with strength and power they never thought they had.
And also, you weave together, faith, mythology, symbolism, and science fiction imagery, and you were able to really show all of those in your story. How did you find the right balance between wonder and, of course, your message?
It's definitely a challenge to balance faith, mythology, symbolism, and sci-fi. But when I think about supernatural events like Moses parting the Red Sea or Jesus walking on water, I know biblical miracles still exist today, except most people dismiss them as coincidence. I want to bring the Zodian's mystical powers to life that are scientifically possible and believable. For example, an octopus or a cuttlefish can change color pattern or and skin texture in less than a second. Electric eels discharge shocks in defense, which show that the alien superpowers aren't too far-fetched.
Okay, also in your book, I've noticed that there's a phrase, and that phrase is have faith, not fear, courage, not cowardice. So it feels like some sort of a spiritual thread that's running through the story. When did that message become central for you?
The message became a central theme right from the beginning, which echoes the spiritual battle between good and evil we all face from day one. One omniscient narrative in the book said, the face of many rested in the courage of a few. The future of Planet Z and its inhabitants now lay on the shoulders of the 12 young warriors, further strengthen this have faith, not fear message.
Okay, so there are the Zodians, so the Zodians who would need to reunite, and on top of that, there is also Myra. Myra is such a powerful emotional center in the novel. What made you want to ground this cosmic story in such a personal human struggle?
I see parallelism between the universe and the cycle of creation and supernovae. where new stars form and the old ones explode. Light and darkness wrestle in eternal conflicts, mirroring human struggle and opposition in all things. Myra was born into the world of chaos with the odds against her. Through her love and sacrifice, her noble heritage will eventually lead her back to the astounding path. Life is a cosmic journey. It doesn't matter where you started. What matters is where you ended.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Also, there seems to be a very special bond between the Zodians and their human guardians, and it feels very intentional. What does that relationship symbolize for you?
Each Zodian is connected to his or her human guardians by one common thread, their shared zodiac sign. They are like soulmates to one another, forging an invisible bond through a mystical conduct the moment they meet.
I see. So they're actually very important to find each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So, RC, let's also talk about your experience when you were writing this book. How long did it take to write this book, and what stands out most from that creative journey?
It took nearly 2 years. What stands out most is how the story evolved beyond my initial vision, revealing deeper symbolic layer and a message I felt truly called to share.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that because the book was, very unique, there's so much story into it, cosmic symbolisms and all that. Which part of the book was the most exciting or enjoyable for you to write?
Bringing the Zodian and their animal spirit to life was the most fun to write,
Mm-hmm.
especially their transformation and regaining their special powers. I visualized many scenes with a cinematic lens, particularly the action or martial arts sequences.
That must have been very interesting to write. Were there any characters who surprised you while writing? Ones who became more important or perhaps more emotional than you originally expected or intended them to be?
Cafe the Rabbit was inspired by my beloved pet of 9 years named Felix, who was killed in a hit and run accident.
Mm,
His character was definitely not intended to become more important than I thought he would. I picture how my bunny would speak with the same sassy attitude he had since he was 2 months old, capturing his personality and giving him a voice that felt both alien and rabbit-like led to more humorous and emotional dialogue throughout the scenes.
mm, I see. That character must have been very close to your heart because it was inspired by your pet. Okay, what was the most challenging part of writing a story that carries both spiritual depth and a strong sci-fi adventure? So it's not something that we see a lot of, but you were able to blend both. What was the most challenging part in writing that story?
I wanted the spiritual depth to feel like a literal heartbeat of the story rather than sounding preachy, keeping the cosmic mystery high while preserving an engaging and relatable storyline was the most challenging part.
I see. And your book has been out for a few months now, right? So I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people have, started to read it, and you have probably received feedback already or reviews about your book.
Mm-hmm.
What was the most meaningful feedback that you've received about your book?
Um, One review described the book as wearing its heart and faith on its sleeve, calling it a modern parable that weaves together Chinese zodiac symbolism, the golden ratio, and Fibonacci patterns. Another mentioned the first chapter felt like a love letter written to the Hubble and James Webb Space Telescope, honoring NASA's work in showing us glimpses of heaven beyond Earth's surface.
I see. And it must have felt good to get that feedback from your readers. Hmm. What
Definitely.
advice would you give to aspiring writers who are working on their first book? Because, like you've said, it took you almost 2 years to work on this book, and
Mhm.
we all know it's not easy to write a novel like this. What advice would you give to them?
I would say staying committed to your vision, even when the path feels uncertain. Writing isn't just about finishing a book. It's about staying close, staying true to the message you feel called to share.
I see. So sometimes we just get so caught up in, wanting to finish right away. So in your case, you enjoyed the journey of really writing the book. So after you have published Divine Code of Quasars, what's next for you and what can readers look forward to? I know this is a series, right? So what can they look forward to?
Of course, I plan to complete the Divine Code of Quasar trilogy while continuing to grow the Zodi Pets brand through merchandise and activity books. My goal is to advocate for children and animals who are precious gifts from God and deserve of love and protection with all our hearts.
I see. So, with that, when readers would finish this book, what do you hope stays with them most? Is it the adventure, the symbolism, the spiritual message, or the emotional journey?
I hope it's the emotional journey that brings reader full circle back to the message introduced on the very first page with Ephesians 6:11 to 12, reminding us our greatest battles in life are not just physical, but spiritual.
That's a very good message that you would like to impart to your readers. And as we close, what would you like to leave them? What message would you like to impart with our viewers and listeners? And of course, if you can tell us how our audience can follow your work and how to get a copy of your book.
If you enjoy books about identity, purpose, and spiritual battle, I invite you to check out Divine Code of Quasar, The Four Pregnancy, available on Amazon, Barnes& and Nobles, Westboro Press, and Kobo.
Mm.
And each page is a cosmic puzzle filled with hidden messages yearning to be solved. Let's return to the magic of storytelling that lifts us beyond the noise of the world and into a universe of science and wonders. Thank you for having me.
Mhm. That brings today's conversation to a close. Thank you so much, RC Panthera, for sharing the world, themes, and inspiration behind your book, Divine Code of Quasars, The Fall of Planet Z. So it's really a fascinating look into a story that blends mythology, cosmic destiny, and deeply human struggle in such a compelling way. So for those who would like to explore the story further, Divine Code of Quasars, The Fall of Planet Z by RC Panthera is available in softcover, hardcover, and ebook formats on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, the Westbow Press online bookstore, and all other online resellers. And to all our viewers and listeners, thank you for joining us in this conversation. We'll see you in the next episode of the Author Roundup.